I am here in studio with State Representative Joan Meschino of Hull. Thank you for joining us today on this hot afternoon.
Oh my God, it's so beautiful. Such a beach day. Everyone come down to Nantasket Beach.
Have a legislative session down there. Great to check in with you. And I wanted to ask you a couple of things. I know that they just had a huge group of legislators from other states convening in Boston. What was that all about?
Oh my gosh, yes. So we have a trade association, the National Conference of State Legislators, and they held their annual conference here. It's their 50th anniversary conference here in Boston. 8,000 legislators came down to the seaport, and we were meeting across 5 days, and it's just about what's the new trend, all of the topics, and as should be no surprise to anyone, there's a lot of shared themes. Obviously, the one that drew my attention is housing affordability, because that's something we're struggling with, and that's something my office is really starting to think through in thought leadership and how to deal with. But it was really amazing to meet colleagues from other states, hear what they're doing, hear how they run their sessions, and what themes are out there for them as well. It was nice. It was really nice.
Any surprises? Any big surprises?
No, it's what you would think. It really, like I said, there's a lot of shared themes: transportation, healthcare. A little bit on climate, women's health. There was a wonderful committee there that is focused on women's issues, and they had definitely some interesting things on economic empowerment, in particular around childcare, which is something that our Commission on the Status of Women is also focused on. A lot of legislators in the State House are focused on, how to square away that piece of childcare, because that's economic empowerment, and it's mostly for women, but also a lot on women's health care as well, which, we've turned our attention to, and I filed the menopause bill, the task force on menopause. So it was good. And you know what the other nice thing was? To walk on the conference, the exhibitors floor, and see all of our partners. So we swung by the Epilepsy Foundation, because we have that bill on SUDAP, and Mass Clean Energy Center, because of course we do. Those are thought partners for us too. We do all the work on climate. But our ARC of Massachusetts, right? That's all of the disabilities work that Senator O'Connor mostly does. And so those are just some examples of the partners that we were able to see. And then you can see who else is, everything from AI all the way down to, paint and how to recycle it, everything in between.
Well, no, like you said, when I was asking you if you saw any surprises, were you getting comments from other legislators saying, oh, that this is interesting, I've never been here before, I didn't know you did XYZ this way, I've never been to Boston? Any responses like that?
Yeah, a lot of the legislators, they do the work sort of before they get into session, and then they're in session for just 3 months, right? And that's when they're meeting and hearing on bills and all the different things. Whereas we're a 2-year, everyone's got the 2-year cycle, but whereas we're in session full time. I think that was the thing that surprised most people. And I don't know that it's better or worse, it just is, but that was, I think, the thing I heard that surprised most people. It was nice. I got to see a lot of my colleagues as well, because you never have time, so it's usually when we're on the floor we get to catch up and what have you, but usually we're doing business on the floor. This was just nice to sit next to someone in a conference, or see them on the exhibitor floor, and just hang out and just chat and see how things are going, and it was just nice.
That's cool. Good. Now I wanted to ask you too about a couple other ongoing issues, and one of them, which I love to ask you about each time we talk, is your bill for helping cable access continue to be funded. Where do we stand on that? So
House 91 and Senate, I think 31, we just had our hearing in July, and it went really well. Thank you to all of our community media centers, all of those PEG access channels. They have been sending in their testimony. Well over 100 people testified in support of the bill, and then they were doing really creative things, sending in little videos and different things like that. So it was really it was great, and we had enough notice now that we were able to organize the panels, and they knocked it out of the park. So now that we have that hearing under our belt, the Senate version to Senate Ways and Means, which is a great first step. And now we're having that conversation with House leadership on how to, what the next step is for the House version of the bill. So made great progress. They knocked it out of the park. Our region in particular should be very proud. I mean, it was just
For people that
fantastic.
aren't familiar with that, just explain a little bit about what kind of a funding mechanism this would provide.
So our community media centers are funded through cable subscriptions. And as you all know, you are starting to enjoy your entertainment media through other mechanisms, streaming services in particular. So all we're doing is updating the existing bill to say that that surcharge, that 5%, should be assessed to these other companies as well, right? So the cable companies shouldn't be the only ones to pay it. It should be all of these paid TV. And it's just meant to make sure they're paying into the public good, right? The public access channels. And it's just so that we can have a sustainable revenue source so that you can enjoy all of those selectmen meetings or all of the sports teams, all of that public programming that we have come to love and to respect and admire and to really appreciate. So, yeah, good stuff.
And I just want to ask you one more question. It looked like you had a group of very interesting, were they interns or staff members, and they were hitting some of the local hotspots in your district.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
So every summer we bring in high school and college interns. Honestly, we had such a fantastic bunch this year. And I think it's important that as they're doing the work on the legislation we filed, that they understand and get to know our district. So we did the 3 of the 4 were from Hingham this year. I don't know how that worked out. But so we ended up taking a district day in Cohasset. So we went over to Holly Hill Farm. We went over to the Cohasset Maritime Institution. We stopped by South Shore Arts Center. Of course, we had to have lunch at 5 South Main. And there's always ice cream for us, too. And then recently we were in Hull at the Hull Life Saving Museum and the Carousel, which is, I know, one of your great favorites.
I love that. I do.
Yeah.
I have such great memories of that. I love it. I think it's it's a piece of art and it's a piece of history, and I love the way that they've maintained that and restored it. It brings me joy to see it. I don't know how else to put it.
Even if you don't have children or grandchildren, I suggest you swing by. Very welcoming space, easy to get to. You can park in the DCR lot in the front or the back, and honestly, it is so much fun to hop on the carousel. It goes pretty fast. It just brings you back. It brings you back to when you were a kid.
That's awesome. And tell me about your office hours for this month. You still have some office hours coming up for constituents who need some help.
Please stop by. I have office hours every Monday somewhere in the district. They rotate: Hingham, Hull, Cohasset, Linden Ponds. I just came from Cohasset, as a matter of fact. If it occurs to you that you need help, you don't even need to wait for the office hours. Just call the office, 617-722-2092. We are here to help you navigate whatever state agency or state services, or even if you have a question or just policy, something you care about, you want to weigh in on, whatever it is, just reach out. That's what we're here for.
That's great. And again, that's State Representative Joan Meschino of Hull. Hey, thanks so much for joining us today.
I hope everyone has a great summer.
Oh, you too. It sounds like you are.